Good evening everybody, I am back with yet another challenge video. Today, I will be attempting to beat Plants vs Zombies 2, using only potatoes. I have no reason as to why I want to, or if anyone else has attempted this, but it is something that I'm willing to try. As of course, just like any other challenge I do, this video will contain strong language, constant migraines, and me wanting to drop kick my monitor. So as always, let's set up some ground rules real quick. Number 1, I can only use potatoes. Yes, I know that is crazy. Who would have thought? Number 2, we are not allowed to level up our plants, as that is such a stupid feature that would make this challenge as easy as scamming a kid on Save the World.
Are you idiot, you stupid motherfucker? Why did you take all my guns?
Number 3, no sunflowers. Potatoes are generally dirt cheap, and allowing said sunflowers will only make this challenge feel less legit. Number 4, no power-ups. Do I really need to elaborate on that? I will also be allowed to use premium plants as long as they accept the terms and conditions of being a potato. I will be using a specific version of this game because I'm not about to pay $35 for a fucking plant. I don't know why they made it so hard to get premium plants. Oh wait, that's right.
EA Sports. Go fuck yourself.
As usual, we start off doing the tutorial levels. I didn't record footage for this because I doubt anyone would actually care, but to sum it up, we beat a few levels, travel back in time to eat a taco, and then soon enough we unlock our juiced up 94 calorie South American vegetable, the potato mine. The potato mine is as generic as any insta-kill plant can possibly be. While only costing 25 sun, you can plant him down, then until he pops up he's primed and ready to go, only to one-shot a single zombie while having to wait 6 years for another one to recharge. And funnily enough, he will be our main attacker throughout a lot of this run. He's kinda like an introverted squash. But enough of that, let's get straight into this shit fest of a challenge. I will briefly summarize days 1 through 5. Because for whatever reason, the lawnmowers respawn, meaning you quite literally cannot lose no matter what. I mean, I still only used potato mines. Day 1 was as easy as you can imagine. Day 2 was the power-up tutorial, and this level is designed around using power-ups. And because of the sheer amount of zombies, only potato mines just wasn't gonna cut it. I did end up using the power-ups, but the lawnmowers would have respawned and killed everything anyway, so it's not like it was any different. Day 3 introduces the camel toe zombies, which actually turn out to be a challenge because potato mines are only single target, and these guys can travel in groups up to 6. Day 4 is a conveyor belt level. This one doesn't feature any potato mines, but even if it did, the plants have a cap for how many you can have in a conveyor level at a time. Day 5 thankfully felt like a real level. It was still easy as piss, and you will see me a lot of time using plant food in various situations like this to get an instant charge. This is also my strategy to counter the camel toe zombies. We are also introduced to the explorer dudes, which can't riot against us as our glorious potatoes are set underground. Day 6 is yet another conveyor belt level. This one does feature potato mines, but as previously stated, there is a limit for how many we can use, and there is no way I can beat a whole army with 2 potato mines with a 5% spawn rate. So just so we are clear, any conveyor belt level does not count. Day 7 is most definitely our first real level. There are a shit ton of zombies that are spread out, the sandstorm gimmick is introduced, and combine that with a million camel toe zombies. We are in for a recipe for disaster. I had to prioritize my plant food on whoever is closest to the house. Not only that, but even all my lawnmowers were used up. I always ended up getting so damn close, but the last row of the camel toe zombies was such a struggle that I had nothing left to counter them. I think we should request some backup. The imitator is very unique. It allows us to have 2 of the same plant. You put him down and he morphs into any plant you choose for that level. In this case, just like North Korea, we're gonna have more than 1 explosive at a time, aka 2 potato mines. It certainly makes up for the recharge time, that's for sure. Yeah, this guy could get away with so many crimes just being able to shapeshift into anyone. And with our new partner in crime, we end up beating day 7. But only barely. I still finished the level, but I had to use all of my lawnmowers, and only just winning by a pinch. Yeah, it's not looking too good for us. Day 8 already has plants planted for us, 2 of which are not potato mines, and just like the loyal person that I am, I simply dig them up. We also get introduced to the tombstone zombies, but we aren't using any projectiles, so he does not affect our testosterone boosted taters in the slightest, and cleared the wave with ease. Nothing too notable happened on day 9, until the final wave where everything just came all at once and absolutely devoured every single one of my lawnmowers. Like, yeah, we won, but shit, that was uncalled for. Day 10 was a little bit easier. Didn't last long, and only lost a few mowers, but I gotta say, having 2 potato mines is so clutch. especially with levels that have zombies that are spread out. Day 11 is a stage where you have to survive with the given plants. I find it funny that this level even exists because you are given every plant that you can use anyway on a normal playthrough, minus cabbage pult. In our case, it means we can't use imitator, but we are given potato mines. And, to my surprise, it is actually doable. I had to plant food clutch a few times and had to use basically all my mowers, but yeah, I fucking did it. Day 12 introduces the sarcophagus zombie. I was worried that it would take 2 potato mines to kill one, but thankfully, it does not. For some reason it reminds me of Cophagrigus. But yeah, this level ended up getting pretty close towards the end. I was about to be eaten by one of these dudes, but thankfully I'd saved up her plant food, earning me the victory. On day 13 we have to survive without planting on these mold colonies. I thought that this could be a problem in case I didn't have enough space to have a potato mine charge. But this never really came into play. For the final wave, I used my plant food in the middle of the camel toe zombies to eliminate them, and had the whole middle row get wiped by the lawnmower. Winner winner zombie dinner. Day 14 was very ass-clenching. There were a lot of tombstones and the camel toe zombies tanked through and triggered most of the lawnmowers, but I was insanely close to losing in the final wave. There are a lot of zombies, but luckily some of them are bunched up together, meaning I can kill all of them with just one tater. It really felt like luck just fell in my lap with this one. The last lawnmower killed a zombie, then I just so happened to have enough plant food to stop the others from reaching my gamer brains. I'm just that good. This is too easy. I need a challenge. Well shit. Alright, protect the endangered plants. They get eaten, you lose. It's as simple as that. To my surprise though, this wasn't that hard. For the whole first wave, they didn't even go on the same row as the endangered plants. Yeah, there were camel toe zombies, but other than that, there weren't really too much enemies to fight. And they weren't poorly spread out either, making this level not a threat in the slightest. Like seriously, even try it for yourself, it's not that hard. No one stood a chance on day 16. There were hardly any zombies at all, and it was a short and sweet 2 waves. I haven't mentioned this yet, but no, potato mines cannot blow up tombstones. That's saved for the older brother, who we will inevitably unlock, but that is forever away. Day 17 was very interesting. The objective is to not have more than 14 plants out on the field at once, but because we are using potato mines, they blow up, then the counter will reset as if we never planted them, which resulted in us doing good. But the final wave unleashed a fucking protest of zombies, just out of nowhere, but it didn't matter because we still had all of our mowers. Yeah, the difficulty is slowly creeping up on us. Day 18 brings my favourite types of levels, the plan your defense ones. And what better way to celebrate than to make a giant minefield. This unfortunately does not end up working as well as you would think, because of the huge groups of these shield zombies. I'm gonna stop calling them camel toe zombies, it's getting weird now. It is only barely possible. Thankfully this is one of the shortest levels in the game, and all my mowers activated and absolutely shredded the battlefield into bits once the last wave started. Another close game that we end up on top. There isn't much that's worth mentioning on day 19. They combined the never have more than X amount of plants and the mold colonies into one level, and none of which affected the difficulty one bit, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It was another very short level with easy zombies to combat. I think I know why it's been smooth sailing. Because day 20 was rough. I had to protect 4 endangered plants. For the most part it was okay, until I got to the final wave. And I know I was giving the explorer dudes shit because they couldn't burn potato mines, but they can evaporate the ever-living shit out of these sunflowers. Not to mention everything else coming at me from all ends and being forced to use plant food early so they wouldn't reach the plants. I had been attempting this level for almost 2 hours and I'm starting to lose my mind. It was at this point I realized that there is one other thing I can try to bail me out. The sweet potato is going to help us out a lot in later levels. It basically acts as a walnut, except it attracts zombies towards it. Doing this will allow me to buy more time for my potatoes to recharge. This indeed does work wonders. The main strategy I have with this plant is that I can attract them all to one lane, bunch up the zombies, and then kill them with just one potato mine. Don't get me wrong, I still lost using sweet potato, but it took a few attempts before I finally beat level 20. Day 21 was stupidly easy, even for a late game level. It's funny how the game gives you melon and kernel pult to use, and we don't need any of that shit. I wonder how many people actually like the twin sunflower. Comment down below if you like it, because I think it's kinda ass. And yeah, this level's beaten with zero struggle. We also unlocked a sun boost power up, which doesn't really help us, but pretty cool. Day 22 was probably the hardest level so far. The mold colonies didn't really hinder us, but there are just way too many zombies and they are all spread out in such a way that I can't just keep placing potato mines. And I certainly didn't have the plant food to carry me. I knew I had to resort to using sweet potato, which worked way better. Like here, I can lure this large group of zombies to one lane so they can die to the lawnmower. You might think that doing that is a bit OP, but you'll see in later worlds that this is a critical strategy. We barely end up getting to the end, and I got so incredibly lucky with this potato mine, I managed to kill 4 shield zombies with 1 explosion. They were at the end too, so if that frame perfect placement didn't happen, we would have lost. Day 23 felt pretty grand, which is what you would expect from one of the penultimate levels, especially because we finally get to fight a Gargantua, and if you thought he would be a diabolical challenge, you'd be wrong. He dies in only 2 explosions. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it felt rather anticlimactic. The rest of the level was fine. It was a little bit difficult, but we beat it first try. Day 24 was amazing. It was another plan your defense stage. We made our glorious minefield. The zombies stood no chance against our military grade A base. If you're ever going through a civil war, just do what I do. You have my permission to copy me. And yeah, had a lot of fun, and we beat it first try. At last we arrive at Dr. Zomboss, and it's a conveyor belt level. Hell, every major boss battle is. Yeah, it's a bit underwhelming to say that, but at least the fight is fun. I don't really know what else to say. Potato mines aren't even in play on this level. It's not at all a hard fight, but always a blast replaying it nonetheless. Once we get the key to the Pirate Seas, we make no mistake and dive headfirst into the action. You should stick around because a lot of levels beyond this point makes me want to run full speed into a brick wall. I was never too much a fan of Pirate Seas. The gimmick is that parts of the lane is a bridge, and some have gaps in them for the swinger zombies to come across. These guys don't pose too much of a threat for this challenge, you just gotta prepare a potato mine for when they come flying in. Also, if I sound different, it's because I'm sick. Day 2 already has me quivering in fear. We are introduced to the seagull zombie, and usually they do jack shit, but because they are airborne, they quite literally cannot be blown up by potato mines. The only way I can kill them is to unleash my inner Toxapex and start stalling with sweet potato, until the final wave where they can all get together and get chopped by the lawnmower. Day 3 didn't have any seagull zombies. It was just potato mine spam, and nothing to write home about. Day 4 was the same, except slightly harder. It was quick, there were 2 waves, and lost a couple of lawnmowers. Each world has an endless mode that you can unlock. I don't think it would be in high demand for me to attempt it, but it would be very interesting to see how far I could get. The simplicity was short-lived because Day 5 had to have been the most excruciating thing ever. The seagull zombies are back, and this time there are a lot of them. There are 2 waves and I can barely even get to the second one. The seagull zombies just chow down on the sweet potatoes, and I have to keep them there pretty much the whole time. Even just the basic zombies were a problem because, again, they just keep coming in, and no matter what, they chew through my defenses and lawnmowers in a matter of like 2 minutes. I even tried using plant food on sweet potato, which heals itself by the way. Also tried using imitator on it to have more defense, but it is just nowhere near enough. It took about 2 hours until I could even get to the final wave, and before I died, I had a glimpse of what was coming ahead of me. Yeah, look at all those goals. By the time they arrive, all my lawnmowers are just gone. This is going to have to be the first level that I have to mark impossible. Or so I thought. The levitator is so unbelievably clutch. It is going to be our only answer to airborne zombies. The way it works is that it will levitate zombies and slowly move them back, which buys us a lot of time. Not only that, but it has a 50% chance to wipe any zombie off screen and kill them. Now, you might think that is completely OP, and it kinda is. And that is why I will not use levitators on every single level. Being able to just one-shot anything from range is too broken. But yes, I will only be using them on levels like these where it's necessary, just to keep things interesting. But do expect to see them a lot during Pirate Seas. Day 6 was quite possibly the most insane level I have done. There were a bunch of seagull zombies that I had to stall and sacrifice my lawnmowers for. So much shit happening at once that I basically didn't have any lawnmowers going into the final wave. But what made this doable is that, in the final wave, they didn't have anyone flying, and only spawned zombies on the planks. Sweet potato came in huge clutch, making me able to bunch them all up and get them all with 1 potato mine. At the very end of the level, I thought I was screwed, but I had 1 plant food left, killing all but 1 zombie, and I only just had enough sun to plant a sweet potato and stall the last guy out. What makes this insane is that not only did I not have to use Levitator, but I did this on the first fucking try. It was very fortunate that the seagull zombies only came during the start. Day 7 wasn't fun. We get introduced to these barrel roller guys. Thank God they don't run over and destroy our mines. But when we explode the barrels, it spews out a couple of imps, which is a bit annoying. I lost a lot of times. Oh yeah, and combine that with these dipshits over here, and you can only assume that I had to resort to using violence. Thanks, Levitator. Day 8 was our first Pirate Seas conveyor belt level. It was pretty fun because it featured Snapdragon, who I always thought was pretty gangster, especially when it's unleashing its fire upon gargantuas. Day 9 was a good break from bullshit. It was very straightforward, and I think now is a good time to mention that the swinger guys have a very low chance of missing the deck and end up falling into the water. But yeah, it was an easy level and we unlocked the best plan in the game. Day 10 adds the mighty cannon, which shoots imps every so often. We don't have any range to destroy them, so we have to wait until it breaks on its own, spawning in a bunch of imps in the process. I kept getting so close, but one of the flying zombies just kept getting me, no matter what I do. I think it is doable without levitators, but I did end up resorting to winning with them. Sorry. But don't worry, because I know for a fact Day 11 isn't possible without levitators. There were some seagull zombies, but mostly it was the cannons and the barrel rollers' fault, because they just kept spawning imps. And yet again, because there is always so much shit, I am basically forced to sacrifice lawnmowers before the final wave. Even if you were to get to the end, the amount of imps that come out of all 3 cannons is insane. Even with levitators, they kinda put up a fight. Day 12 was nice. We had to get revenge on these bastards by using coconut cannons to absolutely destroy them. I always have fun playing this minigame. My score ended up being 150,000. I just wish that ancient Egypt kept mummy memory. Only real ones will remember that. Day 13 is our first level where we have to produce X amount of sun. I know I said at the start that sunflowers aren't allowed, but obviously I have no other choice. Apart from producing sun, we also get introduced to the pirate captain, who summons a parrot to take away your plants. Thankfully, I don't think they can take potato mines, due to them being underground, but the level itself was a piece of cake. Day 14 we had to plan our defense. I saw that there was gonna be flying zombies, so I put sweet potato here to try and stall them. This did not work. We didn't even get halfway before we ended up dying. I actually tried opting for a few hyper defense builds. We got pretty far, but too many flying zombies and us again. Even the parrots kept stealing my sweet potatoes. But don't worry, because Levitator has my back. Yay, I hate Pirate Seas. Oh my god, day 15 was so agonizing. We can't let the zombies trample the flowers. There are a lot of zombies down the middle lane, but I can bunch and blow them up no problem. The swingers were actually kinda threatening, but the main problem were these fucking cannons. The imps have like a 50% chance of falling into the ocean, and I have to prepare mines for them. What makes this hard though, is at the end there are 2 cannons, and I have to monitor each side, but once the cannons explode, an unfathomable amount of piss babies come out, and there is no way in hell I can blow any of them up in time. I wouldn't even make it that far half the time, and when I did, I'd get dicked. It's basically just luck wherever the imps decide to land. And I had been attempting this level for so long, and I don't know if you guys count this as cheating or not, but fuck it. I would rather have an electric eel wrap itself around my nutsack and drag me deep into the Mariana Trench than to do this shit fuck of a level again. But essentially, when you start this level, the game puts down a pre-planted 3-peater. Usually I'd just dig these things up, but it's more interesting than using Levitator again. But if I keep it around, it's as simple as that. We beat the level because of it. I can come back to this level once I unlock Primal Potato Mines, so I can beat it legitimately. And day 16 doesn't appear to be much better. The last thing I want to do is protect a spring bean. I don't know what to call this part of the map, but we can't place potato mines on the tiles that are above the water. I can place a sweet potato, but that can only get us so far. The levitators got us the dub. It was still kinda tricky because the zombies still got close to the endangered plants. Day 17, our objective is to defeat 20 zombies in 30 seconds. This level gimmick has always been one of my least favorites. Not sure why, it's just kind of annoying. It also features cannons and seagull zombies, so I guess I have to use Levitator. Excuse me? Why doesn't Levitator killing them count towards the objective? Yeah, seriously, the bar does not fill up. Okay, the way that I did end up beating this level though was to use levitators until the final wave. Oh cool, my fucking game crashed. To use levitators until the final wave, and then I will dig them up and let the lawnmowers and potato mines kill everything within the time frame. And on day 18 we had to survive with the given plants. And as far as I can tell, there ain't no taters here, so we won using repeaters. Look at all those cannons. Now on day 19 we have to produce X amount of sun, whilst zombies can't trample the flowers. Funnily enough, it was easy as piss. Most of the zombies only came in groups of 2, and there was only one wave. No cannon bullshit or nothing, just a simple level. Day 20 was quite literally a copy and paste. We still have to produce sun, there aren't any threatening zombies, and there is only one wave. I don't know why this level even exists. The last level we just did, we had to produce more sun and there was flowers. But this level and its objective is way easier, but it comes afterwards? Yeah, I don't know. This is the 3rd level in a row where we have to produce sun. But this time we also have to kill 5 zombies in 5 seconds. To be honest, these objectives weren't actually that hard. All I had to do was bunch up zombies and blow them up. The difficult part was actually trying to beat it. There are a few cannons, and right as the final wave hit, I just managed to have my lawnmowers take everyone out, except for the middle. I had to do the bunch blow wombo combo with them. But yeah, definitely not an easy level, and I'm surprised I did it on the 2nd try. Day 22 is a level I can fully say is impossible. It is a plan your defense stage, and the only available zombies are cannons and swingers. That is it. But there are actually multiple layers of cannons and they fill out every single row. The amount of imps that come out is just disgusting. And yes, I did try with levitators, but we couldn't even get to the final wave. You see, yes, the levitators can one-shot enemies, but there is a cooldown to when they can do that again. And even though we have so many of them, they just outnumber us. I don't know, it's probably doable with the primal potato mine, but as of now, it is without a doubt impossible. Once we get to day 23, we have to kill 8 zombies in 10 seconds, while not letting them trample the flowers. This is one of those few instances where there were seagull zombies, but we didn't actually have to use levitator. And that's because most of them went towards the bottom lane, so they didn't hog all my mowers. I'm not entirely sure how we did the killing objective, it just kinda happened towards the end. It was also very short level, and I'm happy to beat it. On day 24, we had to deal with every Pirate Sea zombie. And we have to protect the magic beans. It took a while because they kept getting eaten, so it was bound to just be levitator spam. Cause potato mines ain't doing shit against all these flyers, that's for sure. And boom. Pirate Seas is complete. Right after this boss battle. Pirate Seas Zomboss is always a blast. I like the use of the coconut cannons just obliterating everything in its path. It's definitely one of the more easier ones, but once we beat him we get access to one of my favourite worlds, the Wild West. This will be the final world I attempt for this video. Spoiler alert, this was as difficult as the last one, but as of right now, we get introduced to the minecart gimmick. You won't really see me optimize them too much though, as I am not using any projectile based plants. Other than that, day 1 is day 1, not much going on. Day 2 is when the prospector zombies show up. What they will do is fly towards the front of our lawn and attack our plants from behind. But to be honest, they don't pose too much of a threat, because we don't actually have to kill them. If we were to defeat every other zombie, they just kinda die on their own, making this an easy level. Day 3 had me so surprised. The piano zombie makes his debut, and usually he doesn't really do shit, but he really messes up everything. What he'll do is make zombies switch lanes every few seconds, and because I have to prepare potato mines for these zombies, they can just easily switch lanes and avoid them. Not only that, but Sweet Potato attracts zombies to it. However, they can even move away from that too. I actually lost the first time I attempted this, but quickly learning all I have to do is when I see a piano zombie, I need to prioritize killing it over anything else. Wild West has this interesting type of minigame. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's kinda like a turn-based mode. It's a conveyor belt level, but you can only get one more plant every time you defeat the zombies. It's actually a really good way to use the minecart tracks. Has a lot of strategy to it as well. It's very enjoyable, and I'm glad we beat it. Day 5 brings us to the ponchos. Not sure why, but they are probably my favourite zombie design-wise. They just look cool to me, and it definitely gives cowboy vibes. I have to say though, this level was so lengthy. There are 2 waves, and both had a large amount of zombies, but we came out on top. Day 6 was rather tricky. We had to plan our defense. It is filled with the piano dudes, and something I have noticed is that the ponchos don't actually switch lanes, unlike everyone else. Another reason to like him, I guess. I did kinda screw myself at the end by luring everyone to my own death, but that is okay because we bounce back and obliterate them just like the epic gamers that we are, at the expense of every single lawnmower. Day 7 was very drawn out. Nothing really special happened. It was just your standard 2-wave level. I will say though, I don't know why I just noticed that the flag zombies are holding up a Texas flag. Day 8 is a fun conveyor belt level, where we have to make use of the P-pods. I don't know if anyone unironically uses these, but they are kinda fun, especially when you can stack 5 at once. Too bad its plant food is kinda ass. My game also decided to freeze during this tremendous time, causing me to redo the level again, but whatever. On day 9, we have to survive with the given plants. We get access to Lightning Reed. It got a little tense, but in the end, we zapped our way to victory. Oh boy, I wouldn't mind a bit of a challenge right now. Well, isn't that a problem? If you thought these guys were annoying, the Chicken Wrangler is so much worse. If one shows up, it is a guarantee that a lawnmower will get used up. I can't stall them because the chickens will just eat through the defenses in 2 seconds. I kept getting my ass handed to me for a while. So I busted out the all reliable and thank God Levitator doesn't trigger the chickens to spawn, making everything vastly easier for me. Our objective is to not spend more than 500 sun on day 11, but because potatoes are very cheap, this was never an issue for us, as well as being a very short level, with hardly any zombies to worry about. Day 12 was another one of those turn-based levels, but this time we had to make use of bloomerangs and lightning reeds. It went on for quite a while. I actually almost lost to the 2 bucket heads, but had saved up a clutch plant food. I feel like day 13 should have been hard, but it wasn't. A lot of prospector zombies showed up, but they didn't affect us at all. We also get introduced to the bull riders. They also aren't too much of a threat because both the bull and the imp die in 1 hit. However, if you stop the bull in front of a sweet potato, the imp will go flying to the front of your lawn. I think that's kinda funny. Day 14 is just a joke. I tried beating it a few times, but look at all those chickens. It is just crazy to me how insufferable this is. Combine that with zombies switching lanes, and there is no way in hell this would be possible using only potato mines. Really? Don't lose more than 2 plants? Are you kidding me? For those who don't know, potato mine blowing up counts as losing a plant. Believe me, I tried anyway. So, no matter what, I'm forced to use Levitator. I'm just disappointed because so far there hasn't been many levels in Wild West where I can only use potato mines. Hopefully that starts changing. And my wish was granted. Finally, an interesting level. We have to protect an endangered walnut from large groups of zombies. It was a little bit difficult and required strategy. I actually had to use the walnut a few times so the other zombies could run past it, which has me putting it back into a safe place. All of my mowers ended up getting used because of the huge wave. The walnut did take some hits, but in the end, we came out on top. Day 17 was also a fun challenge. We can't let the zombies trample the flowers, and obviously I placed millions of mines in front of them, and I don't know how this imp didn't trigger the flowers. Like look, he's literally walking on top of them, but that's just insane to me. We lost a few times anyway due to how the zombies were spread out, and I had to plant food clutch hard during this level. With a bit of practice though, we get the dub. Day 18 sucks. I know I said the last stand levels were my faves, but they have been screwing me over lately, and this one is no exception, and it is all thanks to the chickens. Like holy shit, look at them all. I actually lost with levitators because placing a sweet potato down also triggers the chickens to come out, so all I had to do was not use them and hope for the best, which ended up working in my favour. Day 19 we can't lose more than 2 plants, and yet again that also includes potato mines blowing up, so our tataronis have to wipe everything out again. We also can't spend over 2000 sun, but that doesn't matter. If it wasn't for the stupid objective, we could have easily done this level with only potato mines. Day 20 is our last turn-based level. For some reason, I had such a hard time completing it. It took far too long, and for whatever reason, I kept losing. It's mostly made up of me using pea shooters and repeaters, but just out of nowhere, on like the 5th time I attempted this, the game decided to give me a fucking coconut cannon. I don't know if the game felt bad for me, but just because of that reason alone, I easily won. Day 21 was a short and sweet level where we had to prevent the zombies from trampling the flowers. There was hardly any zombies at all. However, the prospectors were a bit of a problem because they can still step on the flowers from behind. It almost happened, but I had saved up a plant food, so we ultimately won. Day 22 we have to survive with the given plants. We are actually given a potato mine to use, but because we only have 1 and no defenses, and there are chickens, it is without a doubt not gonna happen. So I just ended up beating the level normally. You could technically argue that this is the only physically impossible level for this challenge so far. It does count because we are given a potato mine, but we are just going to keep going anyway. Day 23 isn't very inspired. Unfortunately, we can't lose more than 2 plants again, meaning we are forced to use the levitator. The zombies still put up a bit of a fight though, almost trampling the flowers a few times. And even if the level objectives didn't exist, the sheer amount of chickens and pianists would have ruined us anyway. Day 24 was brutal. We have to protect 3 endangered walnuts, and I tried a few times with potato mines, but the fucking chickens had to ruin everything. I tried with levitator, but even that was extremely difficult. The problem is, if the chicken wranglers touch a walnut, it will unleash all the chickens. So I have to constantly move them up and down the minecart so that wouldn't happen. But it was a guarantee because the final wave spawns one on every single row, so I had to really bank on my lawnmowers. I got this close to failing, but thank fuck the few levitators I left managed to take the chickens out before they could get to me. I even used my plant food on the endangered plants so they wouldn't die. For the final real level of this video, it was definitely a worthy challenge. This has to be the easiest Zomboss battle. He did not once use his ram attack, the missiles only targeted the minecart tracks, and we get given a shit ton of melons. Enjoyable, but way too easy. Do better, PopCap. Actually, don't do better, no one wants to remember the other boss fight. But there we go, just like that we beat the first 3 worlds of the game. There were a few very difficult levels, but we pulled through. I kinda wish Wild West had a little bit more to offer for this challenge, but it is what it is. Stay tuned for the next one where we will attempt to beat Frostbite Caves and Lost City. Like and subscribe and I'll catch yous on the flip side. Peace.